You won't believe it. His passion faded as love was eclipsed by hate. Later, he asked Casey to take him to Hughie my mansion to talk to Linton. His words dripped with disdain for provocations, and when talking to Linton's sister, he was all gentleness and deep feelings. This series of actions could make Linton sick to his stomach. It seemed like a little revenge on Casey, but this was just the opening act of revenge. From then on, Cliff set traps at the casino, making Henry lose repeatedly, even when he was dead drunk. He asked him to sign a contract selling all assets. When Casey visited her brother, Henry grinned and said, "Cliff is my best friend. He bought all my land for a high price and even left a room for me." Casey immediately sensed something was wrong and rushed to find Cliff, pleading with him to let Henry go. While explaining that she only loved him, Cliff saw something else in her eyes that was just plain mush. "Are you with him? Are you with Edgar? He's my husband. You think you can skip out on marriage just like that? I want to see you. I want to touch you. You little needy pup. You're practically ancient compared to me. You hate me. Sorry. I've been holding back my love for almost 10 years here." That love was taken away by someone else, and Cliff fell into the depths of despair with his next revenge plans brewing. He once again arrived at the Hughie mansion, but this time he was looking for Linton's sister. Is Lily's sister home? Casey thought she was still jealous and playfully said, "I'm just too good that you wouldn't recognize her. You still won't admit it besides me? You think I'm some heartless woman? You're such a fool. I don't even want to say stuff like this. If you want to misunderstand sweetly, then you really are a fool. So I ask again, are you the lady?" Casey, fuming, pulled Cliff in front of Isabella. And she outright said she had picked a suitable husband for Bella, making her sister burst into tears. Emotionally charged, she shouted that her marriage was her own decision, then stormed out of the room. Cliff quickly chased after her, taking the girl to the fields where he once made a lifelong promise with Casey. He also promised the girl the same here. Despite no love in her eyes, Bella was charmed by his looks. So they returned to the Hughie mansion hand in hand, and when Casey saw this, she emotionally broke down and yelled, claiming it was all Cliff's scheme, telling her sister never to believe him. Poor Casey was misunderstood by her sister-in-law and humiliated by Cliff. She was furious and wanted to drag Cliff into the room for a showdown, but just then Linton walked in and witnessed everything. Linton mistakenly thought they were reigniting old flames and was about to call people to beat Cliff up. However, a dramatic moment unfolded as Casey, in a fit of madness, stopped her husband and firmly demanded an apology while watching them argue. Cliff couldn't help but chuckle, which utterly enraged Linton. Casey managed to block Cliff, but Linton felt incredibly embarrassed. In a low voice, she said word by word to her wife, "You may also leave my mansion." Seeing how things unfolded, Casey brought out her final trump card, a single line that left Linton speechless. However, that very night, Bella conveyed this news to Cliff. She thought Casey's pregnancy would make Cliff let go, but underestimated his persistence. Then, Cliff took her to the most prominent inn in town, where they completed a simple wedding ceremony. However, during the whole process, he even asked his wife not to look at him. Clearly, Cliff viewed Bella merely as a tool for revenge. The next morning, this news reached Linton's ears. She was furious and immediately excluded her sister from the family tree, while Casey broke down mentally when she learned of this. It felt as if a million ants were frantically gnawing at her heart. From then on, this became a nightmare that shattered her mental support as Casey's pregnant body spiraled downhill. She frequently wakes from nightmares at midnight, with soul-deep turmoil surging. Her own room was back home, with the wind blowing towards the candle, while on the other side. Cliff showed his true colours after using Bella. He wouldn't even allow Bella to step inside his room. He also forbade her from returning to Hughie mansion, and Bella thus wasted her entire life. Bella sought a place to rest and accidentally wandered into Henry's room, where she learned The subtitle indicates that Henry was suddenly contemplating the idea of killing Cliff. Subtitles: if only I were able to find a way to make him do it for her. The next day, Cliff sought Casey's personal maid, pleading with her to take him into Hughie my man, but he was flat out rejected. However, when the maid entered Casey's room, she sensed something familiar in the air, and from the maid's hesitant expression, she sensed something was off. On a stormy night, Casey could no longer suppress her longing for Cliff. Dragging her heavy, pregnant body, she called out for her lover in the wilderness, as if sensing him spiritually, ultimately reuniting in the place where they once pledged their lives to each other. However, Casey was now too weak to move, and Cliff embraced her tightly. They sought shelter by a boulder, then faced barriers and misunderstandings, finally opening their hearts. If you want to hear more exciting stories, remember to subscribe to us.